The sound of her laugh still echoes in my head, light, careless, the kind that used to make me smile. But that night it cut through me like a blade. "Relax," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, glancing at her reflection in the hallway mirror. "It's just dinner with my boss. You're being paranoid." Her lipstick was the deep red she only wore on special occasions. I watched her slip on heels that matched the color of her dress, a dress she hadn't worn in years. "Paranoid," I repeated, my voice low, almost detached. "You've been coming home late all week. You've stopped answering calls after 8. And now dinner on a Friday night." She turned to me, her eyes sharp, defensive. "You know how this project has been. He's demanding, sure, but it's work. Don't make this into something it's not." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But there was something in her tone, too casual, too rehearsed. Hours later, I sat on the couch, her perfume lingering in the air. A faint trace of her laughter hung in the room like smoke after a fire, beautiful but toxic. I stared at the clock. 9:47. Then 10:03. Then 11:15. Each minute felt like a small betrayal. When my phone finally buzzed, her message was simple. "Dinner ran late. Heading home soon. Don't wait up, red heart." I didn't reply. Instead, I sat in silence, listening to the ticking of the wall clock. Each tick a reminder of how far we'd drifted from the way things used to be. I thought about the woman I met 8 years ago, the one who'd fall asleep on my chest after long talks about our future. The one who cried when we adopted our dog. The one who swore that no matter how hard life got, she'd always be honest with me. And I wondered where she'd gone. When she finally came home, it was past midnight. I pretended to be asleep, but I felt the bed dip as she slid in beside me. The faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine hit my nose. Musky, expensive. She lay still for a moment, then turned away. And that's when I knew. Not from any message or photo or confession. I knew from the silence. From the way she no longer reached for me in the dark. The next morning, sunlight poured through the curtains, warm and cruel. She hummed softly while making coffee, her phone face down beside the mug. "Sleep okay?" she asked without looking at me. I stared at her, studying the little details, the nervous tapping of her thumb, the faint smudge of mascara under her eye, the tightness in her smile. I'd spent years learning her language, and now she was speaking in lies. I took a sip of coffee and asked quietly, "Is he married?" Her hand froze mid-stir. "What?" "Your boss." I didn't blink. "Is he married?" She laughed too quickly. "Oh my God, you're ridiculous." I smiled then, not because it was funny, but because her reaction told me everything. She reached for her phone, probably to end the conversation, but I stopped her. "I'm not angry," I said calmly. "I just want you to be honest with me. For once." Her eyes flicked up, and for a brief second guilt cracked through her mask. Then she scoffed and said the words that ended everything. "It's just dinner, Ryan." I set my cup down slowly, my heart steady now. "Then we're done." The days that followed were a blur of numbness and noise. She called. She cried. She showed up at my apartment pleading for me to talk. "I didn't sleep with him," she said, her voice trembling. "I swear." I looked at her, at the tear-streaked face I once couldn't bear to see hurt, and felt nothing. "You lied," I said simply. "That's enough." Because that was the real betrayal. Not the act itself, whatever it was, but the erosion of truth. The quiet, daily decay of honesty. I'd loved her completely. And she'd used that love like camouflage, hiding behind it while she drifted away. Weeks passed. One evening I ran into her coworker, Jenna, at a cafe downtown. She hesitated before approaching me. "I didn't know what to say back then," she murmured. "But you should know, your instincts were right." I nodded slowly. I didn't need details. I already knew how the story ended. But what surprised me wasn't the confirmation. It was the realization that I didn't want revenge or closure. I just wanted peace. Months later, I got a text from her. "I'm sorry. For everything. I miss you." I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. "I hope he was worth losing yourself for." She didn't respond. And maybe that was for the best. Now, when I think back, I don't remember her betrayal as a single moment, but as a slow unraveling. The small lies that piled up. The silences that deepened. The laughter that once felt like home but turned hollow. Sometimes love doesn't end with a fight. Sometimes it just fades under the weight of what's unspoken. That night when she laughed and said, "It's just dinner with my boss," she didn't realize those would be the last words I'd ever truly believe from her. Because the moment I said, "Then we're done," I wasn't ending us out of anger. I was saving what little truth I had left in me. And now when people ask why I left, I just tell them the truth. She laughed. I say quietly. And I stopped.